That's very difficult. Give a message to Aikido practitioners.
At the beginning of its trajectory, what made you train Aikido and not another martial art?
I was 22, and one of my friends brought me to Aikido dojo. I was always doing some kind of sports, and when I saw it, I liked it. That's basically it.
How is your personal training routine?
I have a class every day, sometimes morning and night. I have a routine for stretching, it's very important. Meditation, and I mean, I sit, everyday basis, I sit almost every day. Then I take sento, Japanese style bath every day. That's very important for me. Because it's relax my joint and the muscles, and so I try not to keep the fatigue of that day to the next day.
You said you keep a regular sleeping schedule. What is that schedule like? What is your
like a typical day. Okay, like when I have an asageko, which is a morning practice, I usually wake up 4:30, and then I leave home 5:30. I sit from 6 to 6:20, 6:40, and then class start at 7 o'clock to 8. And sometimes I have another class, and sometimes I have a free practice. And then usually I go home in between. And then when I have a afternoon practice, I have 4 different places that I'm teaching. So sometimes I have to leave home around 3 o'clock. Sometimes I leave at 4 or and come back 8 or 9. Sometimes 10 o'clock. So that's my routine. And I'd like to maintain my body as long as possible, that I can be with everybody and keep practicing Aikido.
Based on your personal experience, what are the most important things you want to pass on to your students?
What is the role of the sensei learning Aikido? I think the first role is, of course, a pass on Aikido. As I said, we talked about complex Aikido, waza and do. And that's the sensei's job. And so I'd like my student to not to look at me. I would like my student to look at Aikido.
Do those who wish to become Aikido teachers need some special training?
I don't know if it's called special, but they need to train a lot. A lot. With twice a week of Aikido, it's difficult to become, I mean, it could, I think, but then, as I said, our teacher's role, the role as a teacher is to pass on Aikido to the next generation. So I think if you want to become a teacher, of course you have to train a lot. Because being an instructor is, I mean, as you have to be a role model too.
how do you teach important fundamentals so that your students don't just copy the form of the techniques?
How? Most important thing is to teach them when they show up. We try to focus on Ukemi, how to take a correct Ukemi, because it's kind of like a beginning of the conversation. I do a lot exercises. I mean, I say exercise, it's not exercise. For me, it's Aikido, but I tell students it's exercises, which means I would like them to see not the form, but the substance, which means the process, which means the function, what my joint is doing, what my muscle is doing, what my core muscle is doing, how it's connected, and how put that in the function. But a lot of the people, it's difficult to see it because first you see the picture first. That's the first part. And the second part is more in the movement. So it's look like more Aikido. And the difference is, what I said is, exercise is like when you become a good soccer player, you practice how to pass correctly and precisely, how to move your body, how you have to practice. Okay, that's the first, I call it exercise. And the second part, but it's in the game. Okay, in the game you can't think how to pass correctly. It has to come naturally, spontaneously, in the game, and beautiful shoot. Okay, when you beautiful shoot, like nice soccer player in Brazil. Yeah, it won't come by chance. It will. There might have some chance like this, but it will come in a way. You know, it has some chance. But then it comes because of those your hard work. So that's how I gave the example to the student. Okay, this part we practice. It's in Aikido. You could say like tanden geiko. それから流れの稽古。But you need to do both. And I call it exercise for the student because it's easy to understand. It's a tanden geiko, basically.
Do you think there are differences in the application of techniques between men and women?
Men and women it's physically it's different, you know. I mean, so it's totally different. But in a way, if you see in each individual in Aikido base, it's same.
And do you think there is some difficulty for women to train?
If you think it's difficult, it's going to become difficult, and then if you think it's fine, it's fine. It's like on the tatami is not special place.
Do you think that women sensei are an incentive for more women to practice Aikido?
Maybe. In Aikido world right now, maybe women need more role models. I think that's important.
This is a question about your dojo. Are there many women practicing at your dojo?
I think yes. I think I don't know exactly. I didn't count, but probably 35 to 40% members. I think, yeah. And sometimes I have a very, very strong body of woman who is very dedicated. So sometimes on the mat, 50-50. But I don't treat women especially. I know, I treat everybody in the kind of like same, I mean, not same, I mean, each of them are different, you know. So I adjust, you know, myself what those people need, but then I don't make a difference because you're women.
What does it mean to be strong within the context of Budo?
In the context of Budo, someone who has an integrity, and who knows the right judgment in the right moment, and who wants to be a always better human being.
In addition to Aikido classes, should a Budo practitioner have some other daily personal training?
I'm not sure if it's a training, but of course, I mean, it's everything you learn from the mat, on the mat, you have to bring it back in the daily life and be a better person. That's why we're here, training. If you're here, if you're on the mat, you're a nice guy, but then off the mat, you're a bad husband, that what's the sense?
What can you say about your experience with Yamaguchi Sensei, Shibata Sensei, Yamada Sensei, Chiba Sensei, and Tishie Sensei?
Okay, I can't talk about everybody because what's my experience? Well, just a training. I had some experiences off the mat too, but then mostly training. And on the mat, obviously, you know, when they throw me, there's a communication. And how I feel in the communication is very important. In fact, I believe that Aikido is not something you can pass on the book. With one throw, the communication is done. I mean, the teaching is done. So you cannot reproduce this. So what I learned from those teachers, that memory of my muscle.
What is the particularity of Aikido that attracts you the most?
I like the possibility and freedom. For example, right now, I'm in Sao Paulo. It's completely other side of Japan. When I started Aikido, I never thought I'll be here. In the many other places too, I never thought I'll be there. And that's what Aikido gives me, always encounter and the opportunity and the possibility. And I would like you guys to enjoy this too.